number 87 on the iconic 100 list is the 1990 Topps no name Frank Thomas rookie card. And here to talk with us about this card today is Ryan from Brooklyn Vintage Cards on Instagram. Ryan, I think if I remember right, you've got this card quite a bit higher than we have it on, than it was sort of averaged out on the list. What do you think about where it came in at number 87?
Look, a ton of things to love about the card. Let's start there and then figure out if we ranked it correctly. It's Frank Thomas. It's the big hurt. He's in his Auburn uniform. He's got his gloves stretched out. It's just a classic card, even in the 1990 Topps. But it comes out of this truly first generation of junk wax where this card is not rare at all until you get to the error component of it. And there's a lot of error cards out there in the world. This one, how screwed up must the printing process have been? They forgot to put his name on it. Big, bold, black letters. They just left it blank. And it makes for this fascinating, weird artifact of the 1990 Topps set. And it happens to have been the best card in the set, Frank Thomas, as time played out. It's worthy of a top 100 list. It's probably the only error card that I think gets on the list. I think because the underlying card is not super rare at all, causes it to, maybe not be top 20, top 30, top 40, but worthy of mention. The big hurt was everyone's favorite player for at least a while.
I think the component that you just hit on that I think is really fascinating is that when you look at early 90s stuff and late 80s stuff, you're just not talking about an era that you can, sort of like relate to the word rare. These are not rare cards for the most part. This is one of the examples, one of the rare examples of a rare card, and it's because of an error. I believe, there's one other card from the era that's on the list that hits on some of the same things, and that's the Billy Ripken. But it's different in that, Ripken's got that great last name because people know who Cal is. But for everybody knew who Frank Thomas is. You were talking about video games and posters and commercials. He hit pop culture in a way during that era that really only Griffey did, I think. And so
totally. And I mean, the Billy Ripken card, I suspect it's probably less rare. Absolutely. It was interesting because of the language on it. There's some curse words on the bat and they forgot to block some of it, whatever. This card, it was actually super rare and was truly valuable from a dollar perspective early on. Like in 1997, if you had the no name Frank Thomas, this is 7 years after it came out, you probably could have traded it for a PMG or something. Yeah. I mean, the card was selling for a couple $1,000 way back when. And I think that's what made it super cool. Like this idea that rare, superstar, expensive.
Yeah, well said. I think if you go back to 1997 and you say like, what's the pinnacle of baseball cards? People are talking about Ruth. They're talking about Mantle. They're talking about this card. And that's strange to say because in some ways it feels like it probably shouldn't be there, but I think the rarity component is what gets it there. Anything else you want to say about this one, Ryan?
I think it's one that holds value over time. I think there's enough memorabilia, nostalgia about it that it's one you can feel somewhat safe holding on to.
Awesome. Yeah. And I love it too. I'm glad it came in where it did. Number 87, I had it at 61, so we were both a little bit higher on it. But to me, as far as 90s baseball goes, this is it. This is the iconic card. Again, that's number 87, the 1990 Topps Frank Thomas no-name rookie card. Thanks again to Ryan for covering this one today. Tomorrow, we're going to hit card number 86 on the iconic 100 list. And until then, happy collecting.